Hi, my name is Santana and I'm a nursing student. I'm going to be talking to you today about proper hand hygiene and why it is important during the current pandemic. COVID-19 is very transmittable, and it is perhaps because you can be contagious for days up to 2 weeks before you even know that you have the virus or show symptoms, and some people remain asymptomatic, which is no symptoms at all for the entire time that they have the virus. There's a current pandemic of COVID-19. It is all over the world. It is on your front doorstep. It is on mine, and everyone needs to be more aware of their own personal hygiene habits, and this includes respiratory hygiene, which will be discussed in another video, and most importantly, hand hygiene, as hand hygiene is always the first line defense against any illness, and it is the best way to ensure that you keep yourself protected and others protected. This goes for healthcare workers, everyday people, anyone that may or may not come in contact with someone who is ill, or maybe you are ill and don't know it yet because the coronavirus can be transmittable for between 2 and 14 days before anyone shows symptoms. While the average is like 5 or 6 days, it can be all the way up to 2 weeks, and some people never show symptoms at all. So it's important for you, if you care about other people, to protect others in case you are carrying the virus and do not know. It is important to protect yourself from getting the virus so you do not get ill and you do not transmit this to other people, because you may just have mild symptoms, or you may have more severe symptoms like get pneumonia. You may need to be put on a ventilator. Those are some of the bigger complications associated with this virus, and you don't know if you're going to be one of the unfortunate ones to get that ill. So the best thing is prevention. And I'm going to talk to you today about hand washing and hand hygiene and ways to do it properly. And I'm going to also provide links down below to the World Health Organization website, as they provide excellent diagrams and directions on how to do it as well, which is what I'm going to show you today. Ensuring proper hygiene is important because even though a lot of us have stay-at-home orders, we still have to go grocery shopping. Some people have to go to work anyway, for those of us who are essential workers. And when we go to these places, you don't know who has touched surfaces before you did, who has coughed on things before you touched them, or anything like that. And with Harvard University having a study coming out that said that it can live on plastic and hard surfaces for 2 to 3 days actively, meaning it can still be transmitted up to 3 days later after someone has touched it, or cardboard and other soft surfaces for 12 to 24 hours. This is important to know because we all get packages delivered, and people have touched them and handled them, for the last few days. We all have to get our mail. We have to go grocery shopping and touch things like the carts and the food items and everything like that. And all of these surfaces are ways that the virus can be transmitted. So in order to protect yourself, it is important that if you are touching things that have come in contact with other people, like your mail or packages or items at the grocery store, that before you have performed your hand hygiene, either by washing your hands with soap and water or using an alcohol-based hand rub, that you do not touch anywhere on your face. It would also be helpful if you didn't grab into your purse and stuff like that, unless you plan on using Lysol spray to clean that out as well, because if you touch things and you touch your purse, well, it's sitting there in your purse. So if you performed hand hygiene and done all that stuff, you still have the virus in your purse. So there are many things to take into consideration when out in public and how to keep yourself safe and others safe. But the most basic important thing is washing your hands. I'm going to go over how to wash your hands properly, the proper time frame, and the proper motions, and how to do it. And then I'm going to go over the proper way to use alcohol-based hand rub, Purell, hand sanitizer, however you may know it. because there is a proper way and a proper time length to do both of these things. And a lot of people think that, you can just quick wash your hands or rinse them and dry them, you're good to go. Or you can quick squirt some hand sanitizer on for like a second or two and let it dry, flap your hands around, which you should never do, by the way, because that invites germs right back onto your hands. But that's not how you do it. It has to be done for a certain amount of time, a certain amount of friction, in a certain way in order for it to be fully effective. So if you would like to learn how to do that, please stay tuned, because I'm going to be demonstrating that for you today, along with providing diagrams and then links to where I found the diagrams in the description box below so you can access them for yourself. While out in public, you can't be too sure of who's touched the surface before you were there for hours and days beforehand. So your best line of defense is with proper hand hygiene. And this is in the form of either washing your hands with soap and water or using an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. I'm going to go over and demonstrate how to do both for you, so you know the proper way to do it and you know that you're doing it right. The first way to clean your hands is the old-fashioned way with soap and water. You're going to need your hands, a sink with running water, and make sure the water is warm at least, and soap. And also preferably disposable paper towels, because that is the most hygienic way to dry your hands. And you're going to start out by turning the water on, getting your hands wet, putting enough soap on your hands to get a good lather. You're going to rub your hands together, back and forth. You're going to make sure you get in between your fingers. And then you're going to make sure you get the back of your hands and also go in between your fingers like so. Do both hands. You want to get each finger separately. You'll scrub them. And you want to make sure you're doing this between each finger, because a lot of people don't know that you forget these areas between your finger, and a lot of germs will hide out in there. So you do each finger, preferably, remove your rings or move them around and clean under them if you can. And then in order to get under your nails, you would take the palm of your hand and your nails like so, and just scrub them around, making sure you kind of get the soap lathered all up under your nails, because nails are disgusting. And you would be surprised at what gets under there. And then people put their nails in their mouth, bite their nails or whatever, hang on to them, and then you're transmitting germs into your mouth. So we're going to do both hands the same way, same amount of time. You want to make sure you get them really good. Then you want to go back and just make sure you have gotten between all your fingers, go up your wrists. And then you want to rinse your hands and you want to hold them downwards. So it's like washing it down. You don't ever want to hold them up while they're wet, because it's kind of like, And then you want to, after the rinse, you want to grab paper towels, dry your hands. Don't turn the water off. Once your hands are dry, use the paper towel to turn the water off. Dispose of the paper towel. And then what I like to do is grab another paper towel, and it's a fresh one, it's nice and dry, and use the handle if it's a public restroom to open the door, and then dispose of it in a trash can, because if you touch the restroom door handle after you've just washed your hands and dried them, again, you could be picking up viruses or anything, and that defeated the purpose of just washing your hands. So if you're in a public restroom, I recommend either using your elbow if you can, or using a paper towel to open the door. It is the safest and cleanest way to get back out of the bathroom once you're in there. The second, and perhaps most convenient way to do this, is with an alcohol-based hand rub. And it has to be at least 60% alcohol for it to be as effective as it needs to be. The non-alcohol-based ones will not work the same. They don't work in the same manner, so do not use them, and they are not approved by the CDC as a proper hand sanitizer. What you would do is you would squirt enough or pump enough hand sanitizer onto your hands to make sure they are wet for 20 seconds while you do this. You want to make sure you get the entire surface of your hands, under your nails, do the same scrubbing motions that we would do if we washed our hands. get in between our fingers, rub in the thumb area, which gets really dirty. And you want to make sure you get every single finger, just like you would do if you were washing your hands. And just do that, and at least 20 seconds before it dries, get up your wrist. If your watch is on, it's probably really gross. You should probably sanitize that as well with like an alcohol wipe or something. And you would do this, like I said, for at least 20 seconds and make sure it stays wet the whole time you do it. That is what sanitizes the hands. And then you're done once it's dry. Your hands are clean. Now, you only want to use the hand sanitizer if your hands are not visibly soiled, because it just sort of cleans the stuff you can't see off of there. If your hands are visibly soiled, you definitely want to use soap and water if you can. If you're not in a place where you can do that, then hand sanitizer will have to work if that's all you have. But if you have dirt or grime or anything disgusting on your hands, then soap and water needs to be used. I would like to thank the World Health Organization for providing the information that I shared with you today. Links are in the box below. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe for more videos like this one, and leave a question or comment down below. Please wash your hands, don't touch your face, and stay at home if you can. Bye!